DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective. Your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
Yes, sir. What is up, Draft Heads? We back. How's it going? Welcome back into the Key Pass Collective. My name is Joe Williams. I'll be your host for this particular episode. Welcome in. I apologize that we are a couple minutes tardy to those who are joining us on the live stream. If you've never been on a live stream, you should. You should join us on the live stream. You'll get to chat with people like Haroon, people like Draft Espresso, people like Old Scruffy, or Lloydie LFC, or QuizKit, or any number of other amazing people who hang out with us in the chat there and contribute in ways that are incredible, hilarious, sometimes controversial. Not very often, honestly, but still amazing. It's so much fun. Join us on a live stream, normally 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. Okay. Well, Tom, of course, I forgot you. Thank you. Hello, Tom. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, we are back after double game week of sorts. One that resulted in some really high scores for Newcastle assets. Just for Newcastle assets. Right? Everybody else, not so much. Anyway, yeah, no, Newcastle assets dominated this game week. I hope you didn't have to go up against any of them, especially the likes of Harvey Barnes. And Toddy is not here to brag about his boy Harvey. But yeah, man, what a game week. So we'll of course talk about that a little bit more and what that means for the upcoming fixtures as well. And of course, unfortunately, we have more double game weeks to talk about, as well as some blanks. So that will of course be the first part of this episode. We really need to get into that because it's going to affect a lot in terms of the way that we try to close out this season. Those of you who have playoffs and stuff too, it's going to have huge implications. Of course, not having your assets next week and then having them double this week. It's going to be a really interesting one. So we'll see how that kind of pans out, and we'll get the lads' take on how to play this week and what they think is the best strategy for that. And then we've got some listener questions, which is going to be awesome. Listener questions, and then we'll end it with some streamers like we usually do. For those who are just maybe joining us for the first time or are not aware, we are the audio companion to the Draft Society website. Welcome in. Draft Society, if you don't know, is where you go to get all of your draft-related information, that being the fantasy football game, the draft fantasy football game for the Premier League. That is what we specialize in. So head over there. We've got everything you could possibly need. There's also an inner circle there that is a subscriber-only section. Feel free to join that as well, and that will give you some insider benefits, things like rest of season player rankings, weekly points projections for all players, sortable consensus rankings on international break, confidential trade advice, set piece taker tracker, fixture difficulty tracker, and so much more. And if you join for the rest of the season, you'll get the fantasy toolkit, which is bespoke to your Fantrax ID, specifically for yours. So yeah, your Fantrax ID, specifically for you. So whoever's available in your league, if we recommend picking them up, you will know about it. If we think that your player has a really high trade value and you could potentially trade for a whole bunch of other really good players, we'll let you know about it. It's a lot of amazing stuff in the toolkit. You got to check it out. If you want like screen grabs, or if you want even potentially some free trial access to that, let us know. We can hook you up if you're curious or thinking about buying for next season. All right. And of course, we appreciate everybody who already supports us. You help us keep the lights on, but most importantly, you help support independent fantasy football analysis and an independent fantasy football site. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Okay. With that, ignore the fact that I didn't change it from Game Week 32 streamers. You will ignore that. You will ignore that. Aside from that, everything I mentioned is what we're going to tackle today. We'll talk about double game weeks. We'll talk about blanks and jump into some listener questions from there. So, and those come from Discord now because, as everyone knows, we don't use Twitter anymore. So those all come from Discord because there are fewer Nazis on there, which is cool. All right, sweet. It is time to bring in our good friend Sanjy. We'll have Ryan in just a few minutes as soon as he's done with his meeting. But for now, got me and Sanjy. Sanjy, how are you, my friend?
All right. Mixed feelings. I mean, we were discussing before we jumped on air how we're living parallel lives at the moment with how our leagues are going. We're both top 2 of our DPL and IGL leagues battling it out. I am very proud of us, though. So kudos this far. So good night to everyone. I guess good morning as well to people like Draft Espresso in the time zones that he is in. I think in Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, just happy to pod again. Some big results tonight, even in the Champions League. Very excited to hear Ryan's reaction, energy as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to be over the moon. He has to be over the moon. I mean, what a decisive 2 legs.
Yeah.
Even at the Bernabeu, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. It couldn't have happened to a better team. I mean, getting their ass kicked. It could not have happened to a better team.
Were they rolling around on the floor again?
Oh, of course they were. That's what they do. That's all they do. And of course, and they get anyway, that's fine. I won't get into it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sanjy, very quickly. This didn't make the listener questions, but I don't know if you saw on Discord, FPL Boss posted on there. There's a tweet where somebody said, all right, you have 8 hours. You have an 8-hour flight and you have a pad of paper and a pen. And all you can do during that flight is write down the number of current athletes that you can think of. How many do you think you could write down?
Oh my God. Current athletes on a
8 hours.
8 hours? Oh
yeah.
You know what? I think I can. What is like maybe I can do 300 at least. I think.
Okay, so the person who wrote the tweet said, I think I can hit 1,000.
Yeah, I mean it's doable. First off, I was just gonna list everyone I can think of in the Premier League.
I think we could hit 150 in the Premier League.
No, more than that. Surely.
Okay. So add to that other athletes. Add to that other sports.
Cricket players, other sports as well. Yeah.
Or is that it for you?
Well, I think like football, cricket. I mean, American football. I don't know if I can say I know any of the current set of players. Maybe basketball. Delve a bit into there. Golf, maybe like a handful. I want to say, given the whole Rory hype as well.
Sure.
I mean, shout out to all the golf fans out here that love Rory. Congrats!
I heard it was a good one. I heard it was
it was an epic.
Burner. I didn't watch, but
same.
Here's where I admit to you, I cannot name, and this is not hyperbole. I cannot name a single cricket player.
Surely at least one. The US was in the most recent T20 World Cup.
Not a single one. I'm really sorry for that. I can't. I have no idea.
I mean, can you name at least 5 baseball players?
It would be hard. I really dislike baseball. I can't stand watching it.
Interesting.
I would rather watch cricket.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We'll have to take you to a cricket game next time you're here in the UK then.
Yeah, my wife and I spent 4 hours watching cricket when we got sunburned in St. Lucia. And and by the time we were done watching it, we still didn't understand what was going on. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like me in baseball. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
But I think 1,000 doesn't seem unreasonable if you're like, well informed with like I
Yeah.
wouldn't say 4 main sports, let's call it, because the reason I say like at least 300 EPL, I'm saying like 15 players per team, 20 clubs in the league, 300. That should be an easy 300 for us, right?
Yeah.
We play Fantrax so much. I think
Totally.
it's easier as draft managers than it is for like, let's say, an OFPL manager or something like that, because those bastards only care about goals and assists.
True.
Like,
True. Yeah.
we
Draft
yeah.
Pie says 400 in the Premier League with no effort.
Yeah.
20 players from each club.
Yeah. Well, okay, like Lloyd LFC is saying 1,000. That's a lot of paper. Double-sided, baby. Come on.
Yeah, this is just a hypothetical. Don't judge us for the paper we're going to be wasting. Oh yeah, back in the day when you played FIFA nonstop, I could have done it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All the up and comers and like the next wonderkin.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so there you go, FPL boss. We touched on it for you, buddy. All right, Sanjy, midweek fallout. Let's talk about the Premier League teams who played midweek. Of course, the 2 in the UCL, and then the 2 today in the Premier League. Okay, we can kind of save Arsenal just in hopes that Ryan will join us here in a minute. The good news is there were no injuries in any of the games, which is almost a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, really almost miraculous. Let's talk about Villa. So as far as rotation concerns, for the upcoming week, it's truly complicated by the fact that they have a double game week.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy double game week. In fact, it's given the form of Newcastle at the moment, and City potentially figuring out who they are.
Yeah, after we shot on KDB.
I say that. Yeah, I say that very, very cautiously, but still, City being City, those 2 matchups really bad, and yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on. I don't know. What do you think we're going to see from that? They had Cash and Rogers who went the full 90 yesterday, and though I mean, defenders and Emmy, sure, but otherwise everyone else pretty much got subbed out. And then with these 2 really tough upcoming matches, what do you expect to see from them?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I feel like they've got 2 starting 11s.
Yeah,
potentially, right?
Definitely attacking. Yeah.
I don't know if like the fullbacks are safe for 180 minutes, like 2 starts. No. I think maybe the safest defender is probably Konsa. I thought it would have probably been Pau Torres, but it wouldn't surprise me if Mings comes in as well. I know I would say obviously Martinez is safe there. I want to say Boubacar Kamara is safe there. Our Inside Tracks rep John was suggesting that we might potentially see the Onana, Kamara, Tielemans midfield trio for the rest of the season as well.
Oh, wow.
So maybe Onana could be a bit of a dark horse pick. I agree. Rogers, I think, is nailed. Like, he just never seems to get rested at all. The one thing I do want to kind of discuss, though, is Watkins owners right now. Penny for their thoughts. Because it seems like Rashford is the preferred number 9. I think he might be on penalties as well. I think Asensio only took his 2 pens because Rashford wasn't on the pitch. And I mean, if anyone saw those penalties, even if like, oh my God, like you can never take a penalty again. Like that was absolutely atrocious by Asensio.
He won't be taking any more. I don't think that's I don't think there's any possibility.
So the thing is like I'm expecting a lot of rotation, and I'm somewhat nervous if I'm owning some Aston Villa assets at the moment, basically not named Rogers, Kamara, Konsa, or Martinez. You think that's fair to say?
Well, okay, yes. Here's the thing. I'm kind of looking at Villa the same way I'm looking at Arsenal. And I mentioned to you like, oh, well, at least I get to start Saka this week, which is great. Because even if he's not starting the first match, I'm still starting him. I kind of see Villa assets the same way.
Yeah.
Like if I have an Asensio, it doesn't start the first match, I think I'm still starting him.
Interesting. So the thing is like we've got some easy fixtures in this game week as well, right? For example, like West Ham versus Southampton. Would you rather go with a benched Asensio for that first game, possible start for the next game, or go with a James Ward-Prowse versus Southampton?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, different position, right? Different position.
Yeah. But I mean, basically, it's like, would you rather a single
Krug.
game week player with an easy, let's say Fulkrug. Fulkrug starts against Southampton, and you got to decide between him and Asensio. And also,
Lord.
Asensio starts the later game on that day, right? So,
oh Lord,
yeah.
Well, here's one thing, not to dodge your question, but here is one thing to kind of consider is that Arsenal play Ipswich and Arsenal also have a double. And why am I blanking on who plays Leicester?
Leicester is against Liverpool.
Okay,
so
exactly. So Liverpool, all of those assets are basically rostered, unless you want to gamble and pick up like a Harvey, or even potentially a Chiesa. But the fact that that's a later game means that you're unlikely to want to gamble on any of those guys. So when you say there's a lot of easy matchups, I don't think there are. I think there's like one or two that could give you that kind of question mark.
Yeah, I guess. Like the thing is, like I'm still iffy on Crystal Palace. Just conceded 10 goals in a double game week. They're up against Bournemouth. Like Bournemouth aren't like a walk in the park by any means. Manchester United versus Wolves. Cunha's back with Wolves. Wolves just tore Spurs apart. Man United are in dire form as well. Like, would you really want to be benching, let's say, Strand Larson that what does he have, like 4 goals in 4 games or something like that? So I do think like managers are going to have to make some really important 50-50 calls this game week.
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, in the league where I have Rashford, I have Mbomo, Chris Wood, and Iliman Jai. And at the moment, I'm benching Jai against City. Yeah. But it's honestly, it's tempting to play him because he's outscored Chris Wood last week, and Chris Wood is bang out of form.
Yeah, but Chris Wood is playing Spurs. Dr. Tottenham. You get what I'm saying though. Like there's always like you think that, oh, okay, I can do that, but this person's playing that team. Like I don't think like some managers might have an easier time of it, but I think the squads that are well stacked, well stocked, I guess, with good assets, it could be a little tricky.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess I'm assuming that not every league is spoiled for choice. I mean, in that scenario, that was the Super League where, you know, we drafted knowing what the current state of the league was. In other leagues, I'm struggling a bit for forward. So I think a lot of leagues where people picked up Asensio and picked up guys like that, they probably are struggling a bit for forwards. So I think the question then becomes like, do you play somebody like a Lewis Cook over Marco Asensio if he doesn't start the first match? You know, or like some random, like a Seagulls midfielder, not named Matoma.
Like, yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, the thing is, like, I guess the good thing is that, like, the cup semi-final for Aston Villa, there's like what, 4 days gap between the Man City fixture and the one versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't see too much rotation in that sense. So it should be okay. And what, the Champions League semi-final fixtures are
Tuesday
2 weeks away?
Tuesday the 29th. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a whole week between Arsenal Crystal Palace and Arsenal PSG.
Exactly. Which I think is really important.
Yeah.
I think that's really important because before we even started the stream, shout out, Haroon was on here posting in the chat before we even started the stream. And he said, time to say goodbye to our Arsenal assets. And I get where he's coming from. I don't know with the entire week between that fixture and the actual Champions League. I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah. I think you want everyone up to speed. You want everyone being like playing to their best ability, and it's going to be good practice like a week before the Champions League tie. Maybe the Arsenal versus Bournemouth game that's sandwiched between the PSG ties would be the risky one. But I think for this double game, you should be okay.
Yeah, the risk is that you're going to not see a lot of those guys start the first match
against Ipswich.
Which will be scary. Which will definitely be scary when people see probably Martinelli benched, when people see probably Marino either benched or moved to the midfield, maybe even Odegaard with a rest. I mean, but it's a double game week. They could come on and play 15, 20 minutes at the end, plus play the entire next match. I'm starting them.
And the thing is, the next match is Crystal Palace, again, the team that just conceded 10 goals in the double game week.
And it's home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, so yeah, I was hoping Ryan would be on, and that's fine. We can get his take when he jumps on. But what Arsenal players, if they don't start the first one, which ones would you not start?
Probably the defenders. I'm assuming Saliba is starting.
He'll get both.
Maybe Kiwior gets both, but the fullbacks I'd be a bit nervous on. I don't think anyone's starting Miles Lewis-Skelly regardless of single or double game week.
Yeah, he gets he gets like 3 points a match.
Yeah, but it's the other spot is it going to be White? Is it going to be Timber? Is it going to be Calafiori? Is it going to be Tierney? Like that could be a bit of a shit show. Maybe Thomas Partey I'd be a bit nervous about as well, even though it's a double game week. If he misses the first one, I probably wouldn't start him.
See, I'm tempted to start him. Jorginho at the moment is injured. At the moment. And so there's a chance that Partey goes both. Plus, he's just been in really good form.
Yeah. He got an attacking return recently as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a goal last match? 2 matches? Whatever.
Yeah, he got the goal the last game against Brentford, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. We have a whole section on that coming up. We can table this for a second. Let's talk Newcastle and Palace. So Newcastle is going to be an interesting one, I think. The form that they're in, I know that Howe has been pretty reluctant to change his 11 basically all season. But yeah, does he rest some players now that double game week is over? Does he try to kind of ease them into the end of the season here? We saw, and only because they're an interesting team. I mean, we saw Livramento, we saw Schär, we saw Tonali, Barnes. They played 90 in both matches.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say move over Eddie Howe and bring on Jason Tindall. Jason Tindall is the real manager here.
Yeah.
with a 10. Oh well, I guess 5 now. City was the one that scored the 5.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting to see like Gordon is fit now as well. Like I think it's tough to say, like, even though he keeps getting subbed early, but Murphy seems the safest out of the 3 out of Gordon, Barnes, and Murphy.
Yeah.
And I don't think they rotate too much because the gaps between the games are fine. It's just the regular scheduled program of 1 week between fixtures. They have no other cups or games to kind of worry about. And I think they just roll out their strongest 11 possible. I don't think I expect Bruno G, Joelinton, Tonali, same midfield 3. Yeah. Maybe he changes one of the fullbacks like Trippier because he's old as shit.
Right.
It goes with Kraft, but I expect Livramento, Schär, Byrne.
Yep.
I expect Pope as well. So maybe 1 or 2 players I think gets rotated. But other than that, I think whoever you own right now, you're like buzzing. Given the form that they're on at the moment.
I completely agree. The only question I have for you is, are you going to sell Barnes high?
Oh, would I sell Barnes high? Maybe after the Aston Villa game, because from what I remember, in terms of Premier League teams, I think he's got the most amount of goals against Aston Villa. He loves scoring against Aston Villa.
Does he
So I'd
continue
probably
to start?
Yeah, I guess that's the tricky one. I
That's the
think one more. I'm not sure if Gordon is ready to start, and by no means does Barnes like deserve to lose that spot either.
Right. And yeah, Gordon was absolutely out of form when he went down. So, yeah, it kind of came at a right time. It was like saving him the embarrassment of getting benched.
Yeah. I think now is also if you want to talk about selling high on Barnes, now is a good time to buy low on Isak because I think Isak is suffering without Gordon because Harvey Barnes is just greedy as fuck. Sorry for my language.
No, that's fine. I don't think any children listen to this. Yeah, Barnes just shoots all the time. He loves
just trigger happy.
He loves to have a pop. Yeah, Isak 15.5 with a goal, 14 with an assist, 0.25 against Leicester. That must have been brutal for Isak managers. I'm not one, so I don't know their plight this season, but yeah, it's been rough, certainly.
Like, imagine how unlucky these Isak owners must feel. 9 goals in this double game week, and he got only a goal and an assist or something?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he played 77 and 71.
Yeah, and we're talking about one of the best strikers in the league. How is he going to go to Arsenal? And yeah, he kind of did F all this double game week. Like, that's why I think like potential buy low.
Yeah, absolutely. He's certainly not he's not tempting anybody with the $150 million or 150 million pound price tag that he had before. I'm thinking they're going to have to go down a little bit on that if they want to sell him this summer. But we'll see. Yeah. Okay. All right, Palace. Oh, good Lord, man. Okay. Just there's not a lot to talk about in terms of the squad makeup because you know everybody who started and they basically all started both matches. The problem is, as you already have mentioned, they conceded 10 goals and they were absolute shit. So Draft Lad was already posting about it in Discord, but is there a chance that we can see a shakeup? And if so, I mean, what would that even look like? So you saw Mateta as a Sar. You saw Lerma and Hughes in the midfield. You saw Mitchell and Munoz on the wings. You saw Gahey, LaCroix, and Richards. I mean, that's the starting 11. So who could potentially drop out of that? Mateus França going to get a go?
Will Hughes. Where the hell was Wharton tonight?
He played towards the end. I think he subbed on, maybe, or did he sub off? I can't remember.
He subbed on for Will Hughes.
Okay, and he was good.
Yeah, he's a class player. He's a talent, absolute talent. And the thing is you look at both like fixtures for Crystal Palace in this double game week. I want to say they were missing key personnel. Because in the first game, they were without their captain, Gahey, which pushed Lerma into the centre-back, where, I mean, his best position, I want to say, is in defensive midfield. That allowed Kamada to play. And then in the second game, Wharton was benched. And, I mean, just like you said, he's one of their best players, I want to say, in midfield as well. So I don't know if these slight tweaks are kind of the reason why maybe they suffered a lot. If I had to maybe say one other name that could potentially get the chop is maybe Mitchell for Ben Chilwell.
People have been calling for that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the rest of these players, it's been a couple bad matches, sure, but I don't know that they've done anything necessarily to warrant dropping them. Like before this stretch, Sar was in really good form. Mateta was in really good form. Arguably, Eze, I know he missed the penalty, but he's still been good. They had a really rough couple of matches against two opponents that are incredibly in form at the moment.
Yeah. Like City have found a way to play with KDB and Marmoush, like basically without Haaland, and I mean Newcastle are absolutely purring at the moment.
Newcastle are just on autopilot. I mean, they're
Yeah.
they're on the autobahn, and
Yeah.
they've got their cruise control set at 90. They're just like going.
Yeah.
Miles per hour, that is, by the way. I know that's not impressive in other metrics. Anyway, so okay, let's talk about City, because I think that's a good transition there. So let's talk specifically about City. What you see on your screen currently is the fixture difficulty tracker that is available in the Fantasy Toolkit for people who subscribe. And what it's currently set to is the defender position, because I know that's the one that's streamed most often.
Yeah.
But as you can see, I mean, oftentimes the defender position, midfield, and even attacking kind of links up. Manchester City have an absolutely cake fixture list. Just a dream. Everton, Villa, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth, Fulham. Second to that would be Ipswich, which we'll get to later. But Manchester City have the double this week. They're away at Goodison, which it's okay. All right. And then, of course, they have Villa at home. Not catch me 3-4 months ago saying this. Not the easiest double game week.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a stat that I think since Moyes has taken charge at Everton, if you make a league table, I think Everton would be like just outside the top 4, top 5.
I love it. And the only reason is because they haven't gotten more wins. They get a lot of draws.
Yeah.
But they're not losing matches.
No.
It's crazy. They're not losing.
Yeah.
In
the last 12 games, Everton have only lost once. And the only other team to do so, or teams, are Arsenal and Liverpool. So basically like champion fighting teams, because they've had 6 draws in that time and 5 wins. He's really turned it around.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Notice Aston Villa and Palace. Aston Villa's 18th on this list, and Palace are dead last. Bournemouth and Arsenal in the double game week, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And then a blank, also terrible.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, Wolves, Liverpool to end the season.
I mean, to end the season, it's probably not that as bad as it looks, because Spurs are just Spurs. Sorry, Espresso.
No, you're right.
Wolves, you never know which side Wolves, like which team is going to turn up on the day. And Liverpool, with the title sealed, I think that would be... Is that a home game for you guys at the end of the season?
That is, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's like a goodbye to Trent and play the kids and take it easy, early subs. Like, it might be a game of 2 halves in that one. But I agree, the first 3 games for Crystal Palace, they don't look promising.
Aston Villa have Newcastle City in the double, just like we've already mentioned, the worst.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, right now, almost the worst you could get.
Yeah.
And because City are feeling themselves right now.
Yeah.
Like they really are. They're feeling themselves. That comeback win, they really did. I mean, for those who watched, they looked like their old selves, which is scary for the rest of us, because we were kind of enjoying the Schadenfreude. But Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham, United. It's not that bad.
And United to end is party time, surely, right?
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Like Fulham, like what exactly are they playing for? Maybe a top 10 finish. Same thing with like Bournemouth as well. But yeah, it's unpredictable. The thing is also like where do these fixtures fall around the cup,
right?
For Aston Villa. So Aston Villa has Newcastle, City, and then the semi-final cup, and then Fulham, Bournemouth, and I think the final is the final around game week 36, game week 37, or something like that potentially.
That's a great question, and we of course don't have the dates for these matchups either.
So FA Cup finals on the 17th of May.
Okay.
Right,
17th of May.
the season. So game week 37 is Sunday, 18th of May. So there's a chance if Villa go through, they will have maybe a double game week of like Bournemouth, Spurs in 36, and then 37 is a blank.
Right, because they're set to play Tottenham on May 18th, which obviously won't happen.
Yeah.
If they make that.
Yeah. So we've still got like, this is going to change a little bit, right? Once the semifinals kind of play out as well. Like there are a couple of chips that still need to land. But I mean, focusing on the immediate future at least, yeah, it doesn't look great for Villa. Like, especially when we're talking about options that we can stream, like the defenders. So it's dicey. It's not looking good, bruv.
Okay, so perfect transition. So let's talk about those. So we'll start with Arsenal. We have already sort of been over this, so this should be a quicker one. Locks in your lineup. I asked you who you would not start from the Arsenal starting lineup, and you mentioned any defenders who don't start the first match, but otherwise it sounds like you're all in on basically everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Martinelli, I think I'd still probably take the gamble, given the goal that he scored tonight. I believe he scored the winner or the final goal or something against Madrid.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's really just the defenders. I think everyone else, maybe other than Partey, that I would be hesitant on starting if they were benched the first game. Yeah.
Partey is a potential streamer, I think. If he plays the first match, I think I'm starting him. It's against Ipswich.
Yeah, if he starts the first match, yeah, I think that's like a mid-4 lock in your roster.
Okay, so you're streaming him. Are there other streamers that you would play if they get a surprise start in the first one, or are you basically writing that off as, well, then they won't start the second one?
So what are we looking like, under 40% right now?
I think I don't honestly just with your gut call, like it.
Okay, I wouldn't start. Okay, this is a tough one, Joe. Let me give you a tough one. Raheem Sterling, if he starts the first one.
No. No.
If he starts the first one against Ipswich.
No.
Yeah, I get you though.
You can't make me.
I get you though.
You cannot make me.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, so people are asking about Nwaneri.
So if he starts the first one, I think you start him.
He will start the first one.
Yeah. Then I think you start him.
Yeah.
If he's benched in that first one, I don't think I'm starting him.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Because if he's ready to play Saka on 3 days rest or 4 days rest or whatever, then I mean Saka's officially back.
Yeah.
So I think Nwaneri starts that first one. It's against Ipswich. He will go 80, 75. And
yeah, I think you get like 100, 110 minutes maybe across the double with Nwaneri.
Perfect. I'll take that. I will take that. Because with a normal player, you see, Sanjy, with any other player, the maximum you get is 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were aware of that. So that's the kind of math I can do. And you all are you're welcome for it. So yeah, that to me seems like more minutes, and I'll take it. Especially against Ipswich and an out of form Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I I think I would still leave it down to like the last minute in that sense, about like again, I go back to if there's a single game week option that has an easier or easy-ish fixture. Like I go back to the West Ham assets again against Southampton, because Southampton are like, oh my god, I didn't understand how they could get worse, but they did. Like so that's my only like conundrum, I guess, with the Arsenal, I guess, defenders, Partey and Nwaneri. That's probably the group that I'm like,
all right, hold on. Nwaneri or Souček?
Oh God, Nwaneri.
Okay, all right. Nwaneri or Paquetá?
Oh, Nwaneri.
Okay. So all right. There's still some reasonable you're not like selling out Nwaneri here.
No.
You said potentially James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, because he's taking the corners, right? I'm going with the assets that have some sort of a safety net, I guess, to their points, or some sort of a floor to their points. Like you want maybe to play the penalty takers or the set piece takers. That's what I'm sort of thinking.
Nwaneri's on corners.
Yeah. But I meant like the single game week assets, right? That have the set pieces and stuff like that. If they were like just like you said, you say Souček, I'm way more hesitant to play him. I mean, watch. I say that now, and he's gonna score a hat trick versus Southampton or some shit.
I mean, I would take Bowen over Nwaneri.
Exactly. Yeah. But Bowen is a stud, though, right?
Of course.
There's a difference.
You start your studs. I don't know about Kudus.
Oh, people have been saying he's been looking better, getting better, and stuff like that. But I understand the hesitation because as a Kudus owner, I've lost hair on one side of my head watching him play this season.
Yeah, it doesn't show in his scores. Yeah. So if he's been looking better, that's purely eye test.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to hear Ryan's take on the Arsenal assets, though. We can always come back to.
Yeah, we will. We'll come back. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Okay, Villa we talked about a little bit. Just in terms of locks. I mean, you've got the obvious ones. You know, Tielemans is a lock. Rashford, I think, even if he doesn't start the first one, I'm going to start him. Yeah. You have to start Watkins.
Even if he's benched the first one?
Oh.
I think Rodgers, Tielemans, maybe, or even like Marlon is still an option as well.
Yeah. I mean, Haroon just said Rodgers, Tielemans. Those are the only ones for locks.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a point. And like I say, Consa, right? If we're talking streamers and stuff like that.
I'm not.
For defense.
There's no way. I'm not. Not against two teams that just dropped five goals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that could easily be the trap for the double game week, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Because like again, I go back to the single game week players. Would you rather go with a Kilman or would you rather go with like a Villa double game week defender? So Kilman versus Southampton sort of thing, right?
Kilman or a Villa defender?
Yeah.
Kilman.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And actually he's one of my streamers. I tried to keep my streamers to single game week guys, so I'll be curious to hear what you have to say about that.
Love that. Yeah.
Because you and Ryan kind of both hit on the double game week guys, so I'm happy to trot out a couple of these guys and see how they score.
Yeah.
Yes, Omar, absolutely. We were just talking about them Gunners. Congratulations. Yep.
Isn't he an Atleti fan?
I thought, so this makes sense. This makes sense why he's happy about it. Yeah, I also just after so many defeats in the Champions League cannot stand Real Madrid. So yeah, happy. Draft Pie, Emi Martinez. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I thought about wavering him in one of my leagues because I'm up against a few Villa defenders. And I was just thinking as a way to kind of hedge it because, I mean, I own, I think, Vicario in that league. And after this horror show by Vicario, I mean, we talked about it in chat about how bad he basically caused the loss himself single-handedly, I want to say.
Yep.
So it's like, do I want to go through that single game week pain of a Vicario, or even though he's been one of the most informed goalkeepers since he's kind of returned to the starting 11 for Spurs? Or do I want to go Martinez and face, a 9-goal Newcastle, a 5-goal City?
Exactly. Yeah, there's an absolute chance that he concedes 8 this double game week, and that's not ideal.
He could also receive penalty. I mean, Pope, he just gave up in the game week as well. Like crazy things always happen in the double game week.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of times streams are unfortunately traps, as people can see on the screen.
Yeah.
And I think that happens more often than not with defenders.
Yeah.
Right? And goalkeepers would fall into that category because, if you're hoping for a clean sheet, if you're hoping for like that, oftentimes double game weeks end up being a poison chalice because you're hoping, oh, well, they got 2 matches, hopefully one of them they can keep a clean sheet, and then they just don't.
Yeah.
What percentage chance do you think that Villa have to keep one of the 2 clean sheets?
0.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Negative?
No, I'm with you. I'm completely with you, and I think that says everything you need to know. Yeah, I would much rather. I think I would keep Vicario if I were you.
Or I might just go to a totally different fixture altogether. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe
like an
maybe you,
Areola.
I was gonna say, or maybe you grab Kepa against Palace.
Yeah, could do that. Or even grab someone that plays in this double game week and the blank week as well. Just look ahead.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. Well,
because
actually,
the reason why I wouldn't want to keep Vicario is because if Liverpool win this game week, they need to win in game week 34 at home to seal the title. Against Spurs, I'm not putting myself through that bloodbath.
But at least they play. At least they have a match.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. That's a good call. Kepa, now that I'm mentioning this, has Manchester United.
Yeah.
The following week. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. Yeah. I mean, you could potentially maybe go Jose Sa as well. United away this week, but then Leicester at home the blank week.
Yeah.
So there's options, right?
Yeah. Somebody just jumped into chat that I don't recognize, and I would just want to give him a shout out because he's asking a question about Arsenal. We just talked about them, but welcome Keith Dempsey. Awesome name.
Oh, I think these guys are from. There was another Fantrax pod that showed up. I'm blanking on the name of the pod, but I think that's the same Keith. I think he's one of the hosts of there was another Fantrax pod that showed up early this season, right?
Oh, was it like Draft Boys or like
or Draft Offside or something like that? I think that's the same Keith. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I assume so. Yeah.
Welcome, Keith.
Oh, welcome though.
Are you starting Kivior?
Kiwi's not ghosting, is he?
No, but as we've already mentioned, the fixtures are fantastic, and Arsenal don't want to let this slip. I mean, they want to as much as they want the Champions League. They don't want to let the league slip either, and so matches against Ipswich and Crystal Palace. I mean, one of those should be a clean sheet at the very least.
So they're 4 points ahead of Newcastle. Yeah, I get what you mean then in that sense. They probably want to maintain some sort of pace.
Yeah. I'm starting him. If he starts the first, I'm starting him.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I'd rather start him than one of the Villa defenders for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Nice. Well, welcome, Keith. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So we talked Villa. We talked about the locks, but if I'm being completely honest, if I have Asensio, if I have Rashford, if I have Watkins, I think I'm starting them no matter what.
No, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
The question is, and I ask this knowing what lies ahead in our slide deck here. How do you feel about Malen?
Man on form at the moment, no? Well, kind of.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate that he got shafted in the UCL squad. Like, he didn't get added to that. And now they're out of that tournament. It's like, shit, is he going to get shafted in the league now? Because he's got 3 goals and 3 appearances in the league.
Yeah.
1 off the bench. 2 off the bench and then 1 from a start. But you look at the points, though. 12.75 with the goal, 13 with the goal. 11 with the goal. That is horrible.
That's what he does. That's exactly what he does.
Buenas noches, Ryan.
Buenas noches.
Yeah.
¿Cómo están, bitches?
Yes.
What is up?
Trapped espresso.
How's it going?
Ryan off the bench.
That's right. Super sub.
I just want share a little bit, as an Arsenal fan. How does it feel right now, mate?
Dude, it's like that scene in Lock, Stock when they're like, yeah, that wasn't too bad, was it? And the guy's like, yeah, I'll let you know when my sphincter relaxes or whatever. Throughout until the late Saka goal, I was like sweating it. And then, of course, like that relief lasted for like a minute when they gifted the goal to Vinny. And then I was just like, oh, God. And then when it got down to like 80 minutes, I was like, nah, we're going to see this out.
Yeah.
I was texting in a group chat and I was like, they haven't laid a glove on us yet. The only way they score is if we gift them something like with our usual bullshit, passing it around the back. And sure enough, that was the only goal over. Yeah, that was the only goal over 2 legs that they got.
Yeah,
just defensive masterclass. Incredible.
No, it was. It was an incredible team performance, is what it was. I mean, really, really, as a cohesive unit, you all played so well.
Yeah, I think this team is kind of built for these knockout competitions like Champions League, just because if they do get a result in like the first leg, they can just like shut teams down. And that's exactly what happened here. I hope we crack on from here, but man, that was incredible. And you know how much I hate Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming of days like this. My in-laws, like, I think you're disowning me. At this point, I've been
totally worth it though.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah, they've been giving it to me for weeks, years, really.
They're not even from Spain.
I know. Latins love Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the entire world does. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah. I just sent him this news article about this Colombian who traveled like 1,300 miles and spent like his life savings to go back for the remontada, and poor guy.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
And after all that talk in between the games, like I've never seen anything like it. Like, oh, the ultras are planning something special in the locker room. They've been talking about remontada all week. I'm just like, God, you guys deserve to get buried. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, I don't want to interrupt with all this. So
no.
I don't know where we are.
It's all good.
And I also won my miraculous matchups. Like,
yeah,
I should not have won either of them, and I did. Like, what the hell happened in that game? I didn't watch any of it.
Last thing before we move on from that Arsenal Real Madrid result, I saw this comment on social media. Apparently, Real Madrid were gonna cover the roof of the stadium or something like that to create a better atmosphere. And then somebody left a comment, "Oh, that's fantastic because rice cooks better with the lid on." That is prime banter.
So good.
Yeah, man.
And he got man of the match tonight, so
He was good. Yeah. Man, that Saka penalty, I was just like, dude, if you're gonna chip, you have to go in the middle. Like, what the hell was that? And I knew he was gonna miss it too, but that was probably just the nerves. But to come back from that and still like not crumble, like, this team is going places.
Top stuff.
It's really good. The other match I didn't watch either, but I followed it. Just a dismantling, just a complete and utter dismantling. And there was a glimmer of hope when they won the penalty, and as they missed that, and that was lights out.
Wow, Mateta on the pitch?
Yeah,
Interesting.
You wouldn't know it, but he was.
Wow. Yeah, this 2 teams kind of dovetailing in form.
Right, exactly. And it's interesting because we were just talking about Palace, in the double.
Still trust Richards. Don't trust Mitchell.
Bournemouth, Arsenal. I mean, it's rough. Bournemouth, Arsenal, blank.
Yeah, I was looking at that run, and I was like, after this double, I might just drop all of my Arsenal assets, or Palace assets. I sold Mitchell this week based on the double.
Smart.
He kept Richards.
Literally, I was wondering that, like what Palace assets do you want to keep through the blank? I mean, well, more importantly, which ones are you starting this week?
I'm still rolling Richards out.
Yeah.
I think he can ghost enough and is much of a set piece threat to warrant inclusion. Obviously Munoz.
Yeah. Obviously.
As a Sar Mateta, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I trust Gahey or I guess you probably do Lacroix. Not Mitchell, not obviously Will Hughes or Kamada or any of those guys.
No.
Wharton?
Yeah, I'd still do Wharton, although he was benched today, right?
He was benched today, yeah, but he started the last two.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine the next two.
Yeah, if Wharton starts, I'll roll him out, I think. There's not really streamers there.
No.
I mean, I guess what about Lerma?
He did.
No, because there's no guarantee he gets both.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, no. Yeah, Ryan, you missed this. Currently, just dead last. Absolutely dead last in the fixture difficulty rankings. Is Palace, and this is defenders.
I like that Wolves matchup, but that's a long ways away.
Yeah.
The true test will be like if I hold Richards through that after this.
Yeah.
I think I will unless I get jammed up, and if I get jammed up, it's not a huge deal.
Right. All right. So Arsenal, we sort of already gave our opinions on some of these, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on just roll through the Arsenal assets you're starting this week. Like regardless.
Saliba, Kiwi, Raya. Because I'd be curious to see if Partey starts both. He got a yellow like a fucking idiot, so he gets suspended for the first leg of Paris.
He does that.
Yeah. So he misses the PSG first leg, which is I think the 29th.
That is 29th. Yeah.
If he starts the first, I think you roll with him. I think White starts the first, and because of the opponent, I think I probably roll him out, even though his odds of starting the second are probably not great. But unless you have better options, I don't mind starting White if he starts the first one.
Yeah, Ipswich away, it's tough to find a better option, right?
Yeah. It's not a bad stream. Obviously the studs. If Saka doesn't start the first one,
I'm absolutely starting him.
Yeah, I am too, but I wouldn't feel great about it. I wouldn't. Oh man, if Nwaneri doesn't start the first one.
So here's what I think will happen. I think Nwaneri starts the first one. I think he goes 75 and Saka comes on. And even if it's the same exact situation, the second match, I will take 60 minutes of Saka against Ipswich and Crystal Palace.
Yeah. And we burned Palace to the ground the last two times we faced them. And in this form,
they're in the worst form I could possibly imagine. Yeah, I'll take 60 minutes of Saka. I'm happy to.
Yeah, I think Marino starts both. He finally got his one day of rest over the weekend, so I think he starts both.
Oh, really? I thought because he started today, he probably wouldn't start.
No, I think he's a workhorse. Arteta started him, I think the previous 4. Before benching him over the weekend. So
and that was after he moved him back to midfield the one match.
Yeah. So I think he'll start both. And there's enough time between now and Sunday, and then also, like I said, the first Champions League ties until the 29th. So I think he'll start both.
Nice.
And then I think you got to start Martinelli and Trossard because they'll at least start one. Rice will probably start both.
I think you start both. Trossard.
Odegaard probably starts both. Yeah.
Yep. I think you start Odegaard.
So the only one you're kind of not sure about is really Nwaneri. Whether or not you want to roll the dice if he doesn't start the first one.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So Nwaneri, if he doesn't start the first one, Nwaneri or Paquetá versus Southampton.
Paquetá, I guess you'd have to do. Just
Okay.
with the matchup.
Yeah. So it's a tough. That's a really tough one.
I'm going to be faced with that conundrum potentially in a few leagues. And that's the only one I'd kind of hesitate.
I think Nwaneri goes. I think he's earned it.
I think I don't know. Like, there's enough time, and I think you want to get Saka back in form, and regain full fitness before PSG. So I wouldn't be surprised if Saka starts both.
Huh.
You want the rhythm in the legs, as Pep likes to say, right?
Yeah.
The rhythm.
Yeah,
God,
cool runnings.
I just love Pep's turn of phrase. He's a poet and completely unintentional. Yeah. All right, beautiful. So, do you have anything to add on Villa? We basically said,
what a cesspool.
I know. So it's 2 matches. We basically said start their attackers, unless you have better options. We have a conundrum for you. All right.
Yeah.
So it's Newcastle and City. About the worst matchups you could possibly draw at the moment.
Defenders.
No, none. Sanjy tried to convince me, and I said, "You can't make me."
You can't force him if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he literally said that.
Means no.
You can't make me. You cannot make me. All right.
I think I'm with you.
All right. Asensio. Assuming
if he doesn't start the first
one, Asensio or Fulkrug.
Assuming Fulkrug starts and Asensio is benched.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think Fulkrug slightly, but I'm not worried about starting Asensio from the bench because he's good off the bench, and he'll probably start the second. Plus City can be got.
Yeah.
He's probably not on pens anymore, though.
He's definitely
hopefully.
Definitely not. Definitely not. What about Asensio off the bench or JSL against United?
I mean, JSL's the hot hand. I think you gotta.
That's what Sanjy was saying.
I mean, you could do both.
You could, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, 5 goals in 4 games, man. Guys,
I'm against him as well.
Oh God.
Oh, you got to send me the roster, man. I gotta know who to pick up in waivers.
I'm against Rogers, which all the stars are aligning for him to completely punish me for all of this slander. JSL, Paquetá, not a great team on paper, but you'd be surprised what wonders they could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the big ones. I think Barnes.
Oh no, I'm against Barnes too. Oh shit.
RV. Oh, we talked about this earlier as well, Ryan. Would you sell high on Barnes and would you buy low on Isak right now?
I don't think you can buy low on Isak. I think he's just one of those guys that, like, the dude that has him is never gonna relinquish him unless you go nuts, and in which case, like, he's in kind of poor form. So why would you? The Barnes one's an interesting question because, as we know, he's all about purple patches, and he's currently in one. And so I'm tempted to just say ride it because I don't know how much you could get for him anyways. But yeah, whether or not to buy low on Gordon is, I just don't know. And this rate, he doesn't get back in for the rest of the season.
You don't think so?
I mean, if Barnes is scoring braces every game, I don't see how he does.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you can't bench Jacob Messi at the moment. So
God, I hate that dude.
honestly, every time Murphy does anything, I just think it's to spite me because
My rival has him, and I
Yeah.
fucking hate it.
because it's like whenever I in previous seasons would roster him, or even earlier this season, 2.5 minus 0.5, like yeah, just
Yep.
without a doubt, like clockwork. Yeah. Okay. So that's Villa. Yeah, I'm not super comfortable starting any of their defenders, even if they're defenders who normally ghost. I'm not super, I don't feel great about that.
Yeah. The have you guys talked about City defenders?
Not yet. We're getting there right now.
oh god.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it. Outside of Gvardiol, I just don't think I would.
So
Mr. Chickens must be in chat. I wonder if he has any suggestions for
Ben, hit us up. Ben, hit us up. If tell us
around.
Ben, tell us which City assets you are absolutely starting. Who are your locks, in other words? Tell us which City assets you're starting. And ideally whether or not they start the first match. I wonder if there are any of those.
I told you guys I traded Savio for Enzo Fernandez, and so
love it.
I got Savio in, ruined him, and now I traded him out. So expect a healthy double.
But what does that mean for what does that mean for me having Enzo in the IGL?
Oh, I'm gonna ruin his ass immediately. So
yeah, exactly. Anytime you and I both roster a player, it's never usually good. Although Cunha, well, no, never mind. We ruined Cunha too.
Yeah, right, dude. That's the par excellence example. Yeah.
Yeah, we ruined the shit out of Cunha. All right. Well, fair enough. So, okay. So let's talk City.
Who do you start off the bench?
Well, yeah, that's it. So attackers. If they
Doku
don't
off the bench, I think you kind of have to.
It's a double game week. Doku's going to get a half an hour. I mean, minimum, right?
Yeah.
Probably more like at
60?
least, yeah, at least 60 to 70, I would imagine.
Last two games, Doku came off the bench, 3 minutes, 33 minutes.
Yeah, the thing with Savio that I was really upset about is he just doesn't get, when he comes off the bench, he doesn't get many minutes. Like Pep's been kind of using his starters for almost all the game.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with us.
I mean, so, okay. Any advice on Doku Savio? Like, I think Pep is reverting to like what has gotten him here. I think that they're moving away from like this new kind of newfangled, okay, here, take this and dribble, because it hasn't worked at all. And I think he's moving back towards, we now have a healthy KDB, and let's see if we can't work the ball again.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he's up to be honest.
Anybody
think that McAtee actually gets another start?
I don't know. The thing is like
this time, so
the 5-2 win against Crystal Palace. Didn't Crystal Palace start that game on fire? Like, didn't they have a good
They're
few
up 2-0, I think.
Yeah. That's
and then Eze's goal was offside as well, like his second attempt or something. So I think, like Ryan mentioned it earlier, is like City can still be got at.
Totally. And City defenders are the exact type that I was just like talking to you about, Sanjy, where it's like, you know, double game week, you see it, like you get 2 starts, somebody like a Diaz, and then you end up with like 3 points.
So it's like Arsenal 2.0, call it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so, okay, Sanjy, back at you. Are you going to start Konza or are you going to start Ruben Diaz?
Oh, God. Well,
Or neither.
Yeah. Can I start first?
What?
Both of them is what I'm saying. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Diaz, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but not by much.
No, it's mainly because Aston Villa playing Newcastle, who are just like looking like the best attack in the league at the moment. And against Everton, like, yeah, we talked about Everton being on form a lot, but they're still kind of squeezing out these results a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say they're thumping teams at the moment. Like, Beto's missing a lot of his one-on-one chances. Like, so
Yeah.
if you're gonna get a clean sheet out of City, it's probably gonna be that first game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Ryan, where do you sit on that one? Konsa or Diaz?
I've been struggling with Diaz all week. I mean, you basically need a cleanie in one of them to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, yeah, you're probably ended up with like 6 points over the double. So I guess it just comes down to options. Yeah, I don't mind rolling him out if I don't have many great defensive options. But yeah, in terms of that dichotomy, I'd definitely go Diaz. Tyrone Mings, though,
But he's gonna start both.
decently. Yeah,
That's the problem. Like, they've got Powers fit, Mings is fit, Disasi's around.
yeah, they're out of Europe, so there's no reason to really keep them saved.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah,
And
I'm
this
fine
is why
just bypassing altogether.
And this is why, Joe, I mentioned the conversation about maybe there's some single game week assets that we could potentially get more from than some of these trappy double game week center backs.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you already mentioned Kilman. He was dropped a lot of places. He's one of my streamers for this week. I think you need to check and see if he's there because he ghosts really well, and they have Southampton. Like, I would much rather him than any of these City double game week defenders, except for maybe Gvardiol.
Or if Connor Bradley is in your waivers as well. I know Trent is back in training or whatnot, but I feel like it might be too soon for him. If Connor Bradley gets a start, would you not want him over, like against Leicester, over one of the Villa or Man City centre backs?
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks though because of one of the last games. I'm gonna rely on him because like you said, I think he's gonna start. It'd be pretty weird if they started Trent from the jump. But it is a risk because it's like the last game.
So we mentioned this.
Second to last, Spurs, Forest. Maybe you can get one player from there.
Yeah, you could get
that's a Monday
Sar.
game.
Yeah, you could get a Sar. You could get a Bergval.
Alex Moreno.
But if you need a defender, I don't think all the Forest ones are gone, and I don't think I want to spunk on Destiny Udogie.
Yeah, as far as defenders go, actually Moreno shows up in my streamers too. But that Liverpool game's a weird one because I wonder how many people are going to have any wiggle room when it comes to that point in the game week. And what if we see like a Harvey Elliott or even like a Chiesa? Like, I almost wonder, like, what if something weird were to happen and there's going to be just very few people who still have that wiggle room in their roster? Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there.
But why would Liverpool need to rotate though? Like, surely they just want to get this done and over with as soon as possible.
And this is your weekly reminder that Harvey Elliott, despite everything that's been said, has not started a Premier League game this entire season.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Harvey. There was a point where Harvey Elliott.
Hope springs eternal.
No, there was a point where Harvey Elliott hadn't even had enough substitute appearances to where he
win a medal.
He might not get a medal.
Are you serious?
Yes. And that was only like a month ago. And now it's like, okay, yeah, it looks like he's at least going to get that. But like, yeah.
I wonder if the title race was close that like I don't think Slot would give a shit.
People are saying that he's been really hard done by. I know it's a Trump line, people are saying, but like they are.
But I mean, you can't really fault a manager who's about to win the Premier League in his first
I mean,
season.
you,
So like,
you can and
I'm
you
sorry,
can't.
Harvey.
You can and you can't. Our form has been questionable at best. So I don't know. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't expect any changes, but personally,
I'm not gonna
against
contort
Leicester,
my roster to like leave an open spot just in case.
Personally, against Leicester, I would appreciate a couple changes. I would love for Gravenberch to get a rest. I would love Soboslai got a rest last time out, which was really good. I would love for Mo to come off a little early. I think he'll start, but I would love for him to just get a little breather. He's been bang out of form too, so I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
So I think you need 5 appearances.
Appearances, exactly.
Yeah,
and wasn't.
He's safe.
Oh, he's good. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's safe. Yeah, more than safe.
No, but like a month ago, he wasn't. He wasn't, and it was like,
no. Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Yeah. Anyway. All right. So as far as let's go back to City. You're starting KDB. Are you starting Foden? Yeah, you have.
You have to.
Don't. No.
You're starting Foden in a double.
Is he going to be even on the bench in the first?
All right. So if he doesn't start the first one, are you benching him?
I would say.
I think so.
Well, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe trade on the double game week.
Yeah, offer it to someone double gaming. I think somebody snaps your hand off for that. Somebody, not me, but
he had an injury at Old Trafford and he didn't recover well. Is what Pep said about him. So he's the reason that McAtee came in just in time to play against me. It's great.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Foden is a. I'm so glad I don't have him and I don't have to decide on this, but yeah, that is a tough one, boy.
All right, I'm with you guys.
I don't think
if
I
he doesn't
would.
start the first, I'm benching him.
Yeah.
KDB's in. What about your Savios and Dokus?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Unless you're spoiled for riches.
Holland is still out. Your Marmouche is obviously nailed.
Yeah, he gets 2 starts.
Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the other attackers are concerned,
Grealish, I don't think you can.
Nope.
What if he starts the first?
Yeah, I think you're starting anybody that starts the first.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Unless, I know we talked about this offline, Joe, but the Nico O'Reillys of the world, I just don't know. I'm not there yet.
Oh my God! Yes, 100,000%. The questions that you just highlighted.
Andy McKinney in chat is asking, would you trade out Foden for Odegaard? Yes.
100,000,000,000%. Yes.
I know Odegaard has struggled, but yes.
But he's still roaming the earth. And
he's not
I don't know if we have confirmation that Foden is.
To this point, he's not extinct. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. And O'Reilly has been absolutely nailed.
He started the last, what?
5?
How many games? Really?
I mean, isn't it? Or let's see.
I haven't studied him much. If that's the case, then maybe I'll change my tune.
All right. So he has started 3. The last 3.
But he's a mid as well, isn't he? Or is he the defender?
He's a mid. Yeah.
What are his last 3 scores?
8.75, 4 1/4, 14.5 with a goal.
Ugh.
Oh, just on the line.
Yeah, I take it back. I don't know. I don't want it. I don't want it.
It's a tweener.
It's the same thing like Gundogan as well. Like, he's probably going to start both, but I would still not feel comfortable about starting him, given how shit he's kind of been this season.
That assist last game was just atrocious. I can't believe he was credited with that. It literally brushed off his leg en route to another player who put it in.
And he got 9.5 points with that.
Yeah, with an assist.
9.5. Yeah. He had 1 1/4 the game before that.
And would have finished with that without that ghost assist.
Right. Yeah,
he's not a bad trade out.
Oh, wait, 1.25 with a clean sheet point, right?
What? That's
Cheeky
incredible.
little successful dribble in there.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
That is incredible. No, maybe like a clearance. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. Kovacic.
I think you have to if he starts the first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no because he's burnt me in the past, and you know how you are with assets that have burnt you in the past. Is
100%.
Like, I don't want to go back there.
That's why I
Both those dudes started against me this past week.
Yep.
Kovacic and Gundogan.
Oh man.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why I won't touch Emmy. Never again. All right. Well, we've chatted for a while about this, which is fine. It just means we're going to run through our listener questions fairly quickly, which is no big deal. We can do that. Not a big deal. All right, here we go. This is from Barbershop. Sorry. Barbershop 3315. Interested in the blank game week in 34. Any under the radar plays there? Muniz is out there, so looking at him, trying to get him versus Southampton in case he starts. Maybe a Wolves defender versus Leicester. Appreciate the help.
I like where Barbershop's head is at.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying to stash Fulham assets for Southampton in the blank game week. I think Cess will be dropped in a fair amount of leagues. And if he starts, if he starts as a defender versus Southampton, you gotta like that stream, especially in a shorthanded week. So yeah, if you have the room, getting him this week will save you the hassle of trying to get him off the wire next week, where people will be scrambling for assets against Southampton.
Newcastle have Ipswich. There's no streamers there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change their starting 11 for the rest of the season.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and why would they?
Yeah.
Chelsea have Everton. I mean,
yeah, don't trust our defense.
Exactly. And Everton is
except freaking Colwell.
Yeah, Colwell is ghosting.
Colwell is.
I'll give him that. You dropped like what, 12 or something?
Yeah,
the other day?
2 goals conceded, fucking 12 points.
Yeah, Fulham at St. Mary's. Let's see. Brighton at West Ham. No, sorry, Brighton home.
Yeah,
Brighton at the Amex. So that's a decent.
I like.
Brighton is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I don't want any Brighton defenders.
No. I never
even against West Ham.
Defenders. I like. I think Totti had a bad game this past one, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was potentially dropped. And picking him up for that blank game week, and potentially even even getting jammed up and having to start him versus Man United. I don't hate that either. So
yeah,
someone else to target on the wire for the blank game week. But yeah, these are the types of questions you should be asking and scanning your wire for, and seeing if you do have any open spots. Because opening up these spots for plays like this are what's going to get you over the line.
Sarabia.
Oh yes, you're burying the lead.
Sorry, but we'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Honestly, in terms of ghost points, even Agbadu.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
I got him in 2 leagues, and I think I'm just going to keep him.
If you have the room, I mean, you're going to want to start him in 34
for sure.
Oh shit!
All right, nice. Let me go back to that here. Okay, thank you, Barbershop 3315. Okay, this one is from Fion Mac Cold on Discord. What Arsenal players are droppable for the blank?
I think if Ben White doesn't start, he's an easy drop.
Partey?
That's who I was just thinking about. I think so, because they have the blank, and I don't think he's serviceable enough to want to hold, especially in the business end of the season. So I'm not opposed to dropping him if he doesn't start the first one.
He's a streamer.
I keep on reverting back to Nwaneri off the bench. I mean, you have to keep him
wouldn't do it.
because you don't know what's going to happen with Saka.
Yeah.
His fragility. So
And trust me,
yeah.
Ryan, I don't have Nwaneri, as you know, and I do have Saka. And as a person,
it's infuriating.
As a person who rosters Saka, I would tell every Nwaneri owner out there, do not drop.
Yeah,
absolutely do not.
Yeah, I made that blanket statement a while back to definitely keep Nwaneri, especially if you hold Saka. But he's been picked up for so long that if you say like randomly we're able to pick up Saka for free off the waiver wire,
right?
Yeah, you might not have the luxury of having Nwaneri to back him up, but
I think those
are the only ones, honestly. Yeah. Everybody else, like, you're going to want to keep.
Nice. All right. Okay, here we go. So, potential player targets for playoff leagues. The toolkit seems to like Ipswich, but they are Ipswich.
Fair point.
This is from Matt, ko.matt on Discord. So let me go back here, and you guys can see the fixture difficulty tracker. And if we sort by 36 through 38 for defenders, you have, just one second, Ipswich at the very top, Brentford, Leicester, West Ham, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Fulham, Newcastle. That's for defenders.
Yeah. Just real quick on of those, Sepp Vandenberg, I think, is a pretty savvy play.
Yeah.
Because Pinnaker's out now, right?
Yeah, and that schedule is tasty.
Either way, he was ghosting pretty well before he went out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe like a Dara O'Shea.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Who was it? Ben Johnson or whatever came out.
Ben Johnson, yeah. You got to come in with a brace. Which I guess he had an assist and a goal, so whatever you want to call that. There's got to be a name for that, right?
I mean, that Ipswich group of fixtures, like the only one that actually looks okay is the Leicester one in 37.
And even that one's away.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Brentford, I don't know. I can't explain to you why it's such a good matchup in terms of the fixture difficulty tracker. I don't understand why defenders average 11.6 against Brentford. But I wouldn't trust it. I absolutely would not roll out defenders against Brentford.
Yeah.
Like Ipswich defenders, I mean.
Yeah, totally get you. I would feel very nervous about that.
I don't know. Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking at midfielders. That's 11.6. Defenders is 8.6. That sounds okay. That sounds better. But still. Yeah.
It's Ipswich.
Forest, there's really no streamers to be had there. As far as, I guess, trade-ins or anything, like, do you guys see any obvious trade-in targets?
I mean, Aina might come back.
CHO in.
CHO, yeah.
By the time playoffs come around, Aina might be fit.
True. Yeah, the Fantrax has his return date as like late April.
You might be able to get Wood in relatively cheap since he's been out, and then his last, 2 starts now has been pretty bad.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wood's been brutal. Let's look at forwards real quick. And then we can move this right along. Yeah, actually, Keith has a question for you, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You are the Wood Whisperer. Any fears on his form since the injury return? Keith, I have fears. I'll speak for him. I have fears.
Yeah, don't listen to the doubters. No, I don't have any fears that he'll come back into form by the end of the season, especially with that schedule. Like I said, I think it's a good time to get him in. The problem is he's very goal dependent. So yeah, during these rough times, he is very useless. But I like him to catch form again in the push for Champions League, especially with that schedule. So yeah, I'm holding, and if I don't have him, then I'm trying to get him in on a cheap, especially in playoff leagues.
He's got Dr. Tottenham next. Surely he comes back into form.
Yeah. If we're looking at forwards, by the way, last 3 weeks of the season, Ipswich still first, but then Forest, Wolves, Manchester United, Bournemouth, Leicester.
Time for Cunha to earn his freaking keep.
Go, please.
I am not touching a Manchester United forward.
No.
Do they have any?
Oh god.
Well, Sanjay, here's what's funny about that. So they're fourth from the top, right? So they're 4 overall in the fixture difficulty tracker, weeks 36 to 38. Here are their matchups: West Ham, Chelsea, away, and Villa.
Loss. I don't want to throw shade on the difficulty tracker, but what?
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
How are they fourth?
Yeah,
those are 3 losses right there.
It could be taking into account, season long.
Yeah, West Ham were horrible for most of the season.
Yeah.
But I think under Potter they've tightened up a little bit.
I mean, West Ham, yeah.
And Chelsea are in bad form.
I mean, we could easily give them a point, right?
Yeah.
We're very unpredictable, but
at least you're home.
It doesn't matter, Joe. It doesn't matter.
Old Scruffy, yes, there is a rumor that Ahmad will be able to play again this season. I have seen people pick him up, and I welcome you to do that in all the leagues that I'm in.
Way too early, but I understand the hype.
Yeah. I don't know what unless you're almost getting relegated, like what's the payoff there? Why would you risk him? I don't understand it.
Vibes.
Wow. This is amazing. Incredible comment.
Yo, you might actually get more points as well.
Rather stream John Evans than Hoyland.
Great advice.
It's incredible advice.
I told you like months ago that Hoyland was on pace to deliver the worst ghost point season in the history of statistics.
I love it.
And he's gotten worse. So this is going to be an all-timer.
I love it so much.
From Rasmus.
Oh, man.
I mean, we might go negative. Like, he might be averaging like negative 0.5 ghost points for the season. That's incredible.
And did I see Xerxes out for the season?
Yeah.
Hamstring, right?
Yeah. So Hoyland's going to get the minutes.
Yeah, and he was like the lesser of two evils too.
Right. All right. Speed run, boys. Here we go. Who would you rather have rest of season? You have to pick one goalkeeper. Pope, Flecken, Pickford, Sells.
Flecken.
Yeah, it's Flecken.
It's always Flecken, please.
Yeah.
Let me just see.
Then Pope, then Pickford, then Sells.
Hold on. We're on Gameweek 33. Let me just see what the difficulty tracker says. Manchester City, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Fulham, Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham, Bournemouth, Tottenham. I still haven't gotten to Flecken yet. Everton,
Flecken has his own
Leicester, Southampton, Brentford.
Wait, hold up. What the hell is your league if all of these guys are options?
Yeah. I
can't imagine.
What?
This is
because like they're all good picks.
This is a Twitter question that somebody that you can see this person missed reposted in our Discord. So I'm wondering if the Twitter question might have been FPL.
It could be FPL,
But still.
But then it's fantastic scoring. Ugh. I don't
No,
know.
might just be curious. Yeah, it's always
Flecken, Pope. And then what did you guys say after that? Flecken, Pope.
And Pickford Sells is kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sells has the Golden Glove race going on as well.
Got a better schedule and better chance of clean sheets, so he would nick third.
They go. Yeah. I mean, they go Tottenham, Brentford, Palace, Leicester, West Ham. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Like Everton is still a bit tricky, right? They got City, they've got Newcastle. I want to say they got Chelsea, but who knows with that? Like they got Fulham, bit Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Totally.
Clean sheets with Ipswich and Southampton in their run.
All right, this is from our friend Old Scruffy, who is in chat with us tonight. With Liverpool potentially locking down the league by game week 34, should we be looking out for more rotation? Trying to stash guys like Elliott and Jones. We've kind of already answered this a little bit, but we were thinking more, in the game weeks to come here in the next couple. Are you guys
I think if Liverpool wrap it up, I really would punt on Chiesa.
Just to stash?
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to. Yeah, as the season wears on, I'm happy to stash somebody like that, especially if they have an earlier game in the game week. That's why this week in particular is so tough with Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Ryan mentioned, like you're not going to wait and you're not going to have the wiggle room in your roster.
No.
I don't know. And notoriously, Elliott and Jones, the guys you mentioned, Old Scruffy, the guys you mentioned right there are the exact guys. How many times have you been burned by those exact two guys? Ryan?
I mean,
at least
where
7?
do I begin?
12? 15?
I just punted on Jones last weekend. 4 points.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
never fun for Elliott.
These are not dependable fantasy assets. So, I mean, even then, I would still wait for lineups. And if they're in there and you are in a tight spot, sure. You're talking midfielder 4.
And the thing is like, let's say, okay, they wrap it up against Spurs at home in 34. 35 away to Chelsea, 36 at home to Arsenal. Like, the immediate next two aren't the greatest ones you want to be taking punts on, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, great. This is the last listener question, and it's also from Old Scruffy. And this is something he and I were talking about in DMs, and I didn't ask him if I could share this, but I'm going to anyway. He said, got me thinking the other day after your stream. I was wondering if there might be any community leagues opening up for a spot next year. Absolutely. And I'm going to say the same thing I told him. There will be end of season surveys going out for community leagues. And there will also be interest surveys going out for next season. So we will be publicizing those. Look out for those on Discord. We will absolutely be letting people know where to find those, reposting those on the Draft Society Twitter and also on Discord. There are 3 giant community leagues that you can be a part of, and you absolutely should do it.
I'll likely be giving up my spot as I consolidate next season, given the upcoming arrival. So that checks out. Yeah,
I can't.
Also, going to end on a high note as top of entire community league. So this is like Jordan after the freaking Byron Russell shot.
Did you just compare yourself to Jordan, right?
I think I did. I think it's pretty apt.
Is that
leaving at the top of my game?
Are you still after this week? You're still at the top of the entire community league?
Yeah, I fucking drew this week 137.5 to 137.5.
No way.
Yeah.
Not corrections though, surely.
Yeah, we'll see.
Actually,
either way,
that draw
can
help you.
As long as it would turn into an L, it's just as good as a win.
Yeah, because you and Robbie are tied on 24-8. Or sorry, 24 wins, and he has 8 losses. You have 1 draw, 7 losses.
Yeah, and I have the tiebreaker at 300 points.
Oh yeah, by plenty. Yeah.
It's like Robbie took that mind the gap statement seriously, boy. Man saged back.
Yeah, but keep in mind that on 22 wins, your boy is still back here fighting for that title as well. So,
yep,
it's true. No, it's still plenty of games left.
Oh man, and Sanjy's right back there at 19. So it would take a miracle for you to win the entire community league, Sanjy. But hey, I believe in you. Well, actually, no, because I really want to win this league.
I should have no faith in you whatsoever.
I'm sorry.
I've never been picked up and smacked down so quickly before.
Yeah, that was pretty quick, dude.
I surely would like to win this league. I'm sorry. Is what it is.
Did you win
All
this
right.
week, Joe? Over?
No, nope.
I didn't know if like the craziness today helped you at all.
Didn't, because this is the league where Chuck's zombie team had Livramento 17.25, Fabian Scher 37.75, and Sandro Tonali 25.5.
Damn. So what's your lead cut down to?
3 games, and right behind me is Sanjy.
Do you have the tiebreaker?
Yeah, I think you do.
Currently it's only like 100 points.
Oh yeah, you should be fine.
Community league goes.
Yeah, it starts getting hairy if you don't.
Community league goes all the way, so there's no playoffs, there's no nothing there. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. All right, boys, let's talk streamers and get people out of here, back to their families. Sorry if you don't want to go back to your families yet.
I'm going back to the freaking highlights, so let's hurry this up.
That a baby. Did you see the Ryan? Did you see the Instagram reel where it's like the guy watching Rice's free kick over and over?
Yeah, and he like ages
until he gets old.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And his daughter's like,
there was some truth to that.
His daughter's like, we won the league, we won the Champions League. You missed all of it. Watching Bryce's free kick over and over.
Yeah, that's really good.
That free kick though, oh my god.
I still can't believe that happened, man. That felt like an out-of-body experience.
It's unbelievable.
I also hated Odegaard every time that I watched it. Dude, what are you doing taking these?
Yeah. Also, the famous picture of like the cat that's doing like the Matrix move. That one was showing up everywhere. Like, this is Declan Rice. Yeah,
that was pretty apt.
All right, Game Week 33 streamers. Let's talk. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, we talked about Fulkrug. It's kind of a cut and paste option. I mean, if he starts, and he's been pretty lethal off the bench. So if he starts versus Southampton, it's just kind of one of those upside plays. I will caveat it with he's incredibly goal dependent. So even if he starts, you're really banking on him getting an attacking return. If not, he will return nothing. So it's a boom or bust play. But I think you have to take the risk. Alluded to it earlier. I think Timber starting tonight and White technically being back fit opens up the door for him to start versus Luton. I mean, you need to have some cover because it's a relatively later game. And yeah, there's certainly no guarantee he'll start the second. He probably won't, but starting the first and potentially getting some garbage time minutes in the second. TLDR, I think if he starts against Luton, you got to start him.
Against Luton.
Oh God. Ipswich. Maybe that was wishful thinking. I wish we were playing the freaking Kenilworth Road.
I wish Luton was still in the league. They'd be putting up a fight.
Yeah.
Three teams.
Be better.
Where did I? Yeah, man, that was
better than fucking Southampton.
I was in a fever dream earlier.
I love that fugue state.
I got the second one right. It's not like Luton and Huddersfield or some shit.
Right. Yeah, if he starts against Notts County, I would absolutely roll him out.
You gotta like that matchup against Sutton. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Sarabia was kind of somebody I targeted. All of my waiver wires. I probably paid too much for him, given there's still technically a chance that Bellegarde is fit enough to start. But if not, he's well worth the risk. We just talked about Wolves' schedule, and he's been killing it off the bench. So if Bellegarde is out for a significant period of time, it should open the door for Sarabia. I was thinking about kind of if that's the case, what the 11 looks like, because then you're like, well, does Cunha get back in? So I think if Bellegarde's out, then Sarabia comes in for him, and then I think Munetsi probably makes way for Cunha, and JSL keeps his position up top. That would be the best 11. I don't know if Vitor is still gonna try and punish Cunha. He made his point, and he got his goal off the bench. So if he wants to crack on, I think he knows where his bread is buttered. So I'm hoping
Vitor.
that do the right thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to like Sarabia and kind of monitor injury updates on Bellegarde. Maybe even if he is, if it isn't a serious injury, maybe he starts Sarabia anyways, just to rest him. So, yeah, pick him up regardless of that. It's a good punt. And then the last one, I was thinking kind of garbage. Throw away doublers. Onana ghosted really well his last game. I know he started midweek in Champions League, but he came off early, and they're out of Europe, so they're gonna want to crack on. I feel comfortable if he starts the first one, starting Onana. He's one of the few Villa assets that aren't in the top studs. So somebody to keep an eye out, especially if you're desperate for midfield reinforcements.
Yeah, he's available in most leagues, I feel like.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, 13. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
He really did.
Got it in his locker. Yeah, he's kind of a goal threat too.
Huh.
Yeah, from set piece. Yep.
I like that.
Oh, Jesus, I just realized the Kane got knocked out today. Could this day get any better? Incredible. I just got sent a picture of his sad face.
Yeah.
Inter did the biz, yo. So happy.
I didn't put that together either.
I didn't watch any other game other than Arsenal Madrid, so I didn't know. I figured that Inter did the biz, but
what a day for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
So I got a small wild theory about I don't know if it's going to be true rest of the season, about like the Cunha benching, not just about the discipline thing, but do you think there's a chance maybe Vitor is also preparing for the next season? Maybe they don't have Cunha?
Yeah, it's a possibility. But I mean, they've already kind of tried things out and they've had their fun. Plus, it's also like you want to wring every bit out of him, and finish as high as you can. And he knows he's his best player. He's not an idiot. So I mean, there's fear of that, but I don't see it.
My only concern is if he sees it as like a fairness thing, because the way that he said it in the press conference was, like, we have been doing so well with this lineup. It wouldn't be fair of me to bring him back in. Why would I do that when these players are playing this well? They've earned it. And so if he truly sees it as like an injustice, if one of these players were to lose their spot, then that's the only concern that I have.
Yeah, but I think that's a temporary thing. He made his point. He can, say that, and then when they struggled
for one match
at the end of the game, Cunha bailed him out. So like, yeah, I hear that, but I think that penance was paid this past game week. I hope to God.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right, Sanjy.
Cool. So I just went with double game week options that I think should be or maybe free in some of your leagues. The first one is, I heard Edison is potentially out for a few weeks, or maybe a few game weeks. So Ortega, obvious replacement. We talked about the possibility of getting maybe at least one clean sheet. That's probably the Everton one. And he tends to get saves when he plays, something Edison doesn't usually do. But you're going to miss the upside of the assists, man. Freaking Edison, man, with all these assists.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Kiwi, I mean, I'd be surprised if he's free in your league, but if he is, I feel like that's a no-brainer. He's probably as nailed as Saliba in that defense. And you're expecting at least one clean sheet easily, right? Maybe two, given how bad Crystal Palace have been across this double game week. Lerma, the other double game week option as well. And I've given one for each position. So Lerma, midfield pick. Nice. I think he would start both games. I expect him to, at least, because whenever they're missing a key personnel in the back line, he tends to fill in for them. So I feel he's somewhat safe. And then finally, Marlon, Aston Villa, yes, he's on form with 3 goals and 3 appearances. I think 2 off the bench. But the only concern, I guess, proceed with caution because they're no longer in Champions League. And does he now get shafted from the Premier League team? But I think if he starts that first one, you got to take the gamble.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he notoriously, like you said, he goes terribly.
But
yeah,
like it wouldn't surprise me if he does nothing in the first game, comes off the bench and scores against City.
Yeah, exactly, and nobody started him.
Yeah.
Well, somehow he'll wind up in one of the teams that Ryan and I are facing.
Inevitably.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
all right.
My picks.
I went with single game weekers. I'm here. I'm curious to hear your all's take on these guys. So first of all, we got Kilman. I mentioned him. He's been dropped in several leagues. Not all, but many. If you look at his scores, he ghosts even when they concede like a few goals. He's actually a really, really solid defender. Just masquerading as somebody who is kind of a streamer. He's great. You can honestly pick him up and just basically just hold on to him for whenever you get stuck, because he's a really good guy to slot in if you need like 6 points. So yeah, Kilman obviously versus Southampton, pretty solid. Moreno, as you mentioned, Sanjy, Aina is still out, I think, until the end of April. And so Moreno's still playing and still scoring pretty well, ghosting fairly well, has Tottenham. Spurs might score, but he does get some ghost points. So I think he could be decent. Matty O'Reilly versus Brentford. Of course, anytime Matty O comes in, he seems to do fairly well in terms of ghost points. Unless you catch the odd match where he gets like 2. But honestly, more often than not, as much as I hate to admit it, because I thought he was going to be a bust this season, he's actually been pretty decent. His ghosts are pretty okay. So you could do worse than streaming him if he starts again versus Brentford. And finally, gentlemen, Fulham have been struggling, it's safe to say. And one Mr. Wilson is almost back to full fitness. And if you go back and look at his scores, he was fantastic before he got injured. And I'm just wondering if Harry makes a return to the starting 11. If you let me just
not before
quickly,
Southampton, please.
Let me just quickly run through. Okay, January 26th when he got injured, he had 1 point. Before that, 25.5, 9, 20.75, 17, 13. Like he was cooking.
He had a run.
He was cooking before he got injured, and word has it he is close to back. So we shall see, but he might be one to pick up. They play in game week 34 when other teams have blanks. So he might be one to just kind of stash and see what happens if you have the roster flexibility, of course. I don't know that he starts this week, but just wanted to make people aware that he is working his way back.
Yeah, good job.
Nice. All right. Anything else, guys?
No.
Beautiful.
We had a great chat.
It was a long one too, so yeah, let's go ahead and close her down. I don't think people will feel like they got shortchanged at all. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for hanging out, spending the time, chatting about fantasy. I love it.
Anytime.
It's a blast. All right, chat. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Community, as always, you're amazing. My wife is also proud of us as usual. So she's been
consistent.
She's been lurking in the chat. She really has. Yeah. She also subscribed to the channel because she was like, why would I do that? And I was like, I don't know. It helps the algorithm or something. And she was like, okay, whatever.
Helps the numbers. Every little bit helps.
You might as well just make her a moderator of the chat at this point.
Yeah,
I want her in my league next year.
She can boot people. Anybody who like talks shit on us, she can boot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, y'all. Community, we love you guys. Thanks so much. And if you haven't yet, get over to Discord. That's where the conversation happens. Ask for advice. Starts at conundrums. All those things, they're answered on Discord. We'll talk to everyone soon. Love y'all. Cheers.